San Diegans can take a trip to the Holy Land without leaving the city limits. Now, of course, this is not the Israel or Palestine Holy Land, but a community called Tierra Santa, which is the Spanish name meaning Holy Land. About 2 miles north of Interstate 8, just off Murphy Canyon Road, is Tierra Santa Boulevard. Tierra Santa is a part of the general plan for the city of San Diego known as the Elliott Community Plan. Camp Elliott was established in 1941 when the United States government acquired 27,700 acres of land for a Marine training camp area. In 1961, approximately one-half of Camp Elliott was declared surplus by the Navy and made available for development. The following year, the city of San Diego acquired several park sites, major street rights-of-way, a fire station, and a library site. The San Diego Unified School District also obtained several school sites. A master plan of development was begun. The planning area encompasses approximately 10,120 acres and includes the Navy housing section, which is located at the western boundary of the area. A major advantage of the Elliott Tierra Santa community is its central location within the San Diego metropolitan area. Regional shopping facilities are located to the southwest in Mission Valley. Downtown San Diego is 7 miles to the south, and the Pacific Ocean and Mission Bay are less than 8 miles to the west. A major land development firm, the Christiana Corporation, has purchased several thousand acres of land. This company has already constructed several types of residential development. The western portion of the planning area is characterized by rolling mesas. From west to east, the land gradually rises and culminates with Fortuna Mountain, approaching an elevation of 1,300 feet. Residential building has had the top priority in Tierra Santa in these early months. However, in the weeks immediately ahead, shopping centers will be built. Business and community buildings will be springing up, such as this bank building. In the early stages of development, there were only temporary, movable school facilities. However, a new elementary school is now being completed, which houses 480 students. Driving or walking about in this new community, one senses an atmosphere of exploding growth and progress. As of 1967, San Diego was the nation's 15th largest city, with a population of 670,000. It is anticipated that by 1985, it will grow to 1,096,000. San Diego is currently increasing at the rate of 31,500 per year. The earth-moving machines roar and rumble. The contours of hills, mesas, and canyons give way to streets, parks, schools, businesses, and houses. Row upon row of houses appear almost overnight. Single-family residences, villas, townhouses, and condominiums. They come in various and assorted sizes and prices, but they all bring people, and people is what it's all about. Something is missing so far in Tierra Santa. Schools, businesses, parks, libraries, houses. But where are the churches? So far there are none, and apparently no plans for any. A steering committee of San Diego Conference pastors and laymen have been working with the Church Extension Department of the Southwest Baptist Conference. They were able to secure this beautiful 3-acre site on Tierra Santa Boulevard on a hill in the very heart of this dynamic community. The next most urgent need was for a man of God to pioneer this great missionary challenge. Pastor Glenn Anderson, formerly pastor of a church in Northern California, arrived in San Diego on November 1, 1973, to take up this ministry. Home Bible classes were started on Tuesday and Wednesday nights in homes in the community. A number of local families responded immediately. Local lay leadership developed. Public Sunday services were started in the facilities of the Masonic Lodge in February of 1974. Local families volunteered for Sunday school and child care. Although this temporary rented facility is located 4 miles from the center of Tierra Santa, the attendance has been exceptionally good in the beginning weeks, averaging about 50. 53,000 people are coming soon to Tierra Santa. Not one church is yet here with the gospel of Jesus Christ. We claim this hillside as a great focal center from which thousands of people will be reached for the Savior. Earnest prayer is urgently needed for this opportunity as a new church is born. We'd like to take you on an imaginary bus ride, all of you, through the decade of the 70s. We hope that as we roll along together as a Southwest Baptist Conference and observe the signs along the roadside, you'll see something of what we face as a challenge in our work for Christ. We think it will be a winding road, not an easy one, which leads through the years ahead. It will take a great deal of dedication and planning to ensure our reaching our goal. We are indebted to Bob Carlson of our Cypress Park Baptist Church for the donation of his artistic talents in creating the cartoons in this presentation. Now, if you want to go from here to there, you must know which route to take to arrive at your destination. For the Southwest Baptist Conference to go from here, 1970, to there, 1980, and accomplish what we should during that decade, we will need careful planning. That's why we have people who are elected to the boards and employed on our staff to plan ways in which we may better achieve the results we seek. 3 boards, the Church Extension Board, shown here, the Christian Education Board, and the Trustee Board, spend many hours in deliberation together. Many other committees and groups assist in their specific fields. Then there are the men who are employed in the administrative positions at our headquarters in West Covina. Roger E. Youngquist, Executive Secretary. Henry L. Harms, Director of Christian Education. And now a new addition to our staff, F. Wayne Huff, Administrative Assistant. The sign said men and equipment working, but we also have some ladies working for us, which shows you that you can't believe all signs. From the left is Mrs. Gates, Mrs. Little, and Mrs. Haslock. Planning involves budgeting, and the Highway Department knows that every foot of freeway has its price tag. Our journey through the 70s will cost something too, and we depend on the churches to remember us with their budgets, and at the present time it takes an average of $7 for every conference church member. As we look down the road, we can see a little indication of the conditions which we face in the 70s. Population continues to increase in the Southwest, and this seemingly desert land in the Antelope Valley has already been crisscrossed with a water system anticipating the influx of 2 million people in the next 10 years. Construction of new homes to accommodate the growing numbers of people is not only a necessity, but it has become a symbol of our emphasis on the material and the secular. Commercial interests, with what amounts to missionary zeal, are building their shopping centers and supermarkets to take advantage of these conditions. Should we be any less zealous in the sharing of the gospel of Jesus Christ? Cities are being formed so rapidly that the term instant city has crept into our vocabulary along with instant foods. In most of these cities, with their thousands of homes, we are seeing a changing cultural pattern, with a shift in value systems and moral standards which challenge the church to reaffirm the biblical Christian principles which God has established for His people. Most students of the world scene agree that urbanization of society will continue, with more and more people being herded into cities where beneath the dazzle and beauty of the lights there can be the heartbreak of poverty and loneliness of hopeless existence, whether in the squalor of the slum or the splendor of the high-rise apartment building. These conditions must be dealt with by the church as it travels the highways of the 70s. Well, ready or not, we're off. We have already entered into the 70s, and we have entered it together with a lot of other people in the Southwest Baptist Conference. Take a look around at the bus and see who the passengers are, and be delightfully pleased at the people you're traveling with. The Women's Missionary Union doesn't take a back seat in this conference. They not only take obvious pleasure in their retreat, as these ladies appear to be doing, but they have an active program of missionary education and missionary support during the year. The men's work, also highlighted by the annual retreat, is a vital part of our missionary outreach, with its emphasis on building men, building boys, and building churches. A few years ago, we were identified as people of one color and one language. But this can't be said any longer. The Mexican Baptist Church of Casablanca in Riverside is ministering in the Spanish-speaking community there. Whether in the Spanish or the English language, the gospel is being proclaimed and Christ is being shared. Pastor Oscar Alvarez leads this group of conference people in their testimony for Christ. In Long Beach, a cooperative ministry between Delta Avenue Baptist Church and the St. Luke Holy Baptist Church has led to an expanding ministry in the Negro community, and the facilities of the church are being taxed to capacity as Pastor Verdell Calhoun shepherds this active program. The passengers on this Southwest Conference bus include a large number of national Christians in Baja California, where our missionaries, Lauren and Jean Long, have worked faithfully in a ministry of love and compassion through an outreach of medical, dental, and preaching ministry. Then, of course, as we move along the freeway, our efforts merge with other organizations to increase our effectiveness in the work for Christ. The Christian Service Brigade gives valuable assistance and counsel in our boys program. Harvest Publications, along with other departments of our Baptist General Conference, furnish effective tools for a better ministry. An even closer working relationship is now being developed with Harvest Publications in the establishing of a West Coast distribution center for shipping of materials under the supervision of our district office. Signs of the 70s may bring with them some confusion as we try to interpret them as they apply to our work. An illustration of this is found on an off-ramp of the Santa Ana Freeway, where it's impossible to obey both of these signs. At times, we have similar situations which arise in our churches and in our conference where we're not sure if we should stop or keep moving in certain projects. Perhaps you remember that our Los Alamitos Church looked at this property in Rossmoor Shopping Center. And it seemed for a while that God was saying, no stopping. You must proceed. But another look said, stop. It's too expensive. It's not adequate. So the church stopped, looked elsewhere, and now have purchased another site, this time in Cypress, where it will be known as the Cypress Park Baptist Church. The lovely setting of this city park building in Negura gave a green light to the people to begin meeting there temporarily. However, land prices move available properties such as this out of the reach of this small group of Christian people. Temporarily at least, there seems to be a red light for them, but they're waiting for the time when it will become amber and then green, so they can move ahead in a permanent location. Another church which is looking for some indication of God's leading is Rancho Bernardo, where our group is meeting in this swim and tennis club. Looking out over the Rancho Bernardo community, what signs would you look for, and how would you interpret them when you look for a permanent location? Our Pacific View Baptist Church of Torrance has met in this Seventh-day Adventist church since the time of its inception. Now they feel that the time for construction has come, and even though the road may become bumpy and there may be some obstacles during construction, they want to go ahead with their own building. This property, though it does not look very inviting or very promising in its present state, is the place where the Pacific View Church is planning on erecting their new sanctuary. Looking at it from the rear, it is no more promising there, but this land is very close to a new freeway which is going to be constructed, and the Torrance Church feels that they are now ready to minister in a permanent location in their community. The First Baptist Church of Placentia, the church in the marketplace, has had to interpret signs throughout its existence in this unique location. They need to look for indications of which way God is going to lead them next, because they have been innovating in all of their ministry. There are decisions, however, that need to be made, no matter how confusing the signs may be. Someone, somewhere, must say, this is the way God seems to be directing us to do it. We look out over the great suburban areas of California, and we think of the churches which need to be established. A decision has to be made. Arizona offers the same possibilities with an expanding population and areas where there is no evangelical testimony. These men are surveying the east section of Tucson. Our camping ministry always needs decisions that are being made regarding the best methods of reaching young people and boys and girls in our camping program. It would be wonderful if God would just say to us, there is only one way in which you can go. Or if God would say, this is the wrong way, don't enter. But decisions must be made regarding these situations on the circumstances and on the way in which God seems to be leading us. Sometimes those decisions can be wrong. As we travel this freeway, patience is needed, just as on the literal freeway which we drive from day to day. We're not the only ones on the highway. There are other evangelical groups worthy of consideration. There are other missionary needs, such as our foreign missionary program, our general conference departments. We must deal with planning commissions, lending agencies, and other institutions which are related to our work. Sometimes these situations can become actual testings, when our faith is tested, when we wonder which direction we ought to go. The Camarillo Heights Baptist Church of Camarillo thought that all the signs were favorable when recently Pastor Vern Snyder and his family came to take up the ministry there. However, there were signs that appeared in the sky the last weekend of September, which indicated that their time of testing had come. Smoke rose from the hillsides of California, covering the sun, indicating the worst fires in California history.